Final part after you take notes, you do your questions and answers. When you do the content page, the last thing you have to do is create study cards from the new vocab terms that you wrote down in the left column. There's two things you can do. You can make physical cards, which I have a video for, or you can use digital tools. Quizlet's good for that. So how do you do that? Well, first thing you need is you need your notes because you have your vocab list. But once you have that, we're going to go to Quizlet. And then you're going to want to log in. Since this is schoolwork, I highly recommend you log in with your school Google. It just keeps everything separate from your personal stuff. Now what you're going to want to do is go up here and click Create and Study Set. Keeping it all organized, you should put a title. Now this is just an example. So let's say you're doing it for the Studying the Universe vocab. So I'd put Unit 1.1, Studying the Universe Vocabulary. Perfect. Now what you're going to do is you're going to go through and enter the terms and definitions. One of the terms that we had from my other video, the example was data. Now the cool thing about Quizlet is that it'll actually give you some definitions. You can use those, but I would highly recommend checking the internet. But don't just check any internet, because once you Google it, you never know whose answer is going to come up. Use a dictionary. Merriam-Webster is tried and true. As you notice, when we type the word in, there are multiple definitions. Don't just absent-mindedly copy and paste what you see. Make sure you're getting the definition that is appropriate, that is correct for the content page that you took notes on. After reading through them, I noticed that this one looks pretty good. And facts and statistics collected. Nice. Quizlet actually did a pretty good job as well. So you're just going to keep this going. I think another term was horizon from that. Horizontal duration? No, just horizon. The definition, look, they have topsoil, layer of soil, the line at which the sky and earth appear to meet. That is the correct one. Let's just double check here. Their definition is the line where the earth and sky meet. Since in that Studying the Universe content page, we're talking about looking at the stars, we're obviously not talking about dirt. We're not talking about a range of perception or experience, something that might be attained. No, we're talking about the line where the earth meets the sky. So we'll select that. Once you have all your terms, I'm only doing 2 here to save time for this video, hit create, and then it'll give you a couple options. Number one, you can literally use it like regular study cards. Data, try to remember the definition. If you click it, it'll flip it. Factual information used, okay. Now the goal is to see these words and say the definition without actually having to look at it. If you don't know it, look at it and then try to memorize it, and then keep going. Quizlet's cool because they have different ways that you can study. You can learn, you can do the match thing. There's all different kinds of ways that Quizlet lets you do it. So play around with that and see what works for you. But take your time. If you learn these terms, you might realize after a week, if you go back to try it again, you forgot a couple. Forgetting is all part of learning. The more you forget it, then relearn it, the stronger you will learn it and the more you'll be able to retain it. So take your time and practice. Ask me if you have any questions.